Hey guys, welcome. If you have any question about studying abroad, just drop them on the comment section and I will respond to that, okay? So yes, um, Manu, thank
Hi,
you for coming and
thank you for inviting me, Jibril.
yes, I'm happy to have you here.
Sure.
So, guys, in case you are joining, of course, if you are watching this video on record, um, this is my colleague. We graduated from CMU. So I've invited him as a guest just for him to take us through his experience from deciding on where to study, what inspired him to study here, and most of the other things so far that has to do with his decision, anything. So he's just here to share his insights, experience. Okay, guys. So that's what we are going to be doing throughout this session. If it's something that interests you, you just want to stay and ask your questions, okay? Thanks for the likes. Thank you. So yes, Manu, just like I said, it's a pleasure having you here.
Me
Um,
as well.
okay.
Yeah.
So in brief, I just want you to tell the audience or my followers a bit about yourself. Who are you?
Uh, yeah. Hi to everybody who subscribed to Jibrilla's TikTok and YouTube and whatever platform it might be. Hello, everybody. I'm Manoradh. I'm from India. I've completed my bachelor's degree in civil engineering from India, from Andhra Pradesh. So after that, I took a 6 month vacation after graduating from undergrad, and I prepared for GRE IELTS exams, and preparing my SOPs. And in that 6 month period, after completing all this stuff, I've been applying to universities. So CMU, is a well-known top university for civil engineering. It's one of the top 10 colleges for civil engineering in the world. uh, so yeah, I got admitted into CMU. Uh, and after that, yeah.
Okay, so that's brief. Thank you so much. And Um, just like I said, of course, I know you a bit, but you know yourself better. And just like this session is just for you to share your experience. It's
Sure.
cool. It's not like anything like interview. So just cool down, share your thoughts. So someone out there will learn from you, whoever happens to watch this video, will learn from you, your experience and things like that. So first of all, I want us to start with what actually inspired you to study in the US? Because now, before you see what you want to say, let me just say this. There are people like for us in Africa, right? There are
Mhm.
people going to India, want to like some people, India is their dream country to study. You are from India. What inspired you to come to US and do your master's instead of India?
Sure. Because as I've already said that I've completed my undergrad in India. So I wanted to explore the various opportunities across the world, and see how the academic curriculum is back in the US or in any other country. So why I chose US is because US is the place where we have lot of opportunities, and I have my extended family here. Uh, and they've been telling me about the opportunities and the growth that has been happening in the US over the years since they have kept into US. So like, and while I've been applying to universities, the more I've researched about the universities and the work of the professors at the universities, uh, coinciding with my curriculum. So when I saw those, I felt US is the place where I could be a good fit in. And the universities I've applied, I've got admits to these universities, and I think that is the reason I've chose US. The main reason is to know more, to know my to know me better, and to get more exposure. Like US is the place where all kinds of people from various countries come to pursue their masters. Even though US is a bit expensive, I chose US. These are the reasons that I've
So
chose
basically
US.
to get more exposure
Yes,
and for
in terms
opportunities
of
as well.
study and in terms of knowing me better. Yes.
Okay. So now the next thing I want us to look at, when you've made up your mind to actually study in the US, how do you go about the process of, like, so just in brief, like, do you meet someone to help you with the application process, like finding universities? What process do you follow through?
Uh, yeah, in this regard, YouTube helped me a lot to know more like how the application process stuff works. And I also want to thank my friend. Like he came a semester earlier to me in fall 2023. So he helped me to find universities, like to shortlist the topmost universities for civil engineering, and how to shortlist the applications and stuff. Yes. And first I've made the list of colleges what I want to apply for, or where I want to study for. Uh, and after making that list, I've made an Excel sheet uh, to know more about the universities in terms of their minimum requirements from my undergrad, CGPA, whatever it may be, in terms of that, and what GRE and IELTS requirement does the university have, and also the SOP. That is the main thing that make you get an admit into the universities. Even if you meet all the minimum requirements, the SOP is the major thing that
Yep. Just put it.
yeah, SOP is the major thing that helps you get an admit into
No,
the
can I
university.
just put this? Just put it down. Okay. Okay. So the process you took, as you said, was you use YouTube a lot,
Yes.
and you had a friend who was here already
Yes.
before you, and they help you in the process. So if you go out to university, you have like an Excel sheet. You put these universities, all the universities you are interested
Yes.
in, then you look at the admission requirements.
Means from
Okay.
the page, and also change my SOP accordingly to the university.
Okay. So, okay, this is it.
Yeah,
Because, and now that you've touched on SOP, because some people think that like you have a general SOP, like people have been meeting me. How do you write SOP? Most often, what I tell them is that go to the university, look at what the university requires, and prepare that SOP. Because for me, what I think about SOP is like just answering questions. Is that the same with you?
okay.
Like you look at a university and see what they need, then you write based on what they ask you. Do you have like a general, you just prepare one and you just submit it to all universities or each one?
Exactly. Like what procedure I've
You follow,
followed
yes.
is what I wanted to share now. Like
Okay.
initially, before like after completion of my GRE and IELTS exam,
Mhm.
like I have prepared a generalized SOP, like a basic structure of my SOP, like how should it look like for every university that I've been applying. So that is the structure I have followed. So coming to the structure, first two paragraphs. Like first paragraph is about my introduction, my background, like what I've done in my undergrad, or what are my future goals. The first paragraph should be that about you in brief, not going into too much of detail, and not the don't be too concise as well. You need to be brief. Like what explains you the most. that should reflect in your SOP in your first paragraph, and to which university you are applying, and what is the most interesting thing that has brought you to apply to that particular university.
Okay.
Everything must be in that first paragraph. Coming to the second paragraph, it can be some sort of experience in the field that you have that you want to apply for masters. For in my case, I had two internships during my undergrad. So I've spoke about that because my internship background was in civil engineering and my undergrad background was also in civil engineering. And I also want to master in civil engineering. So since these all were the same, so I've developed a paragraph saying like relating my experience internship experience with my undergrad studies and how it would be useful for my master's and also like to my future work.
Future goals. Okay.
Yes.
So
And in the third paragraph, what it must be is you need to talk more about the university. What interests you more into getting to that university? Or why should the university accept your admission? Or you need to write something really cool or really interesting. So what
So-
I suggest you for sorry for interrupting
no,
you.
it's okay.
So
Just
what you have to write is I suggest everybody like this is what the procedure that I have followed. You need to research about this civil engineering page or whatever degree that you want to pursue, you have to look at that particular page for that particular university and see the professor's work. Like if you are really interested to work under him or see something now, for example, I can tell you about an incident like uh, at the university, if a professor is working under artificial intelligence combining with the mechanical engineering. So if that is what interesting you more, you want to go into mechanical engineering, but using AI in mechanical engineering is something you want to know more. So you can write in your SOP like I've done something in an undergrad with mechanical engineering, and I want to know more about AI thing. How does it fit with mechanical engineering? So you can write that like this professor's work is very good and I've gone through his research, I've gone through his paper or something. You need to research more and you need to write something relevant to that. So that is why I think I want to work under his guidance, something like that. Yeah.
okay.
And always I suggest like you can use AI to develop your SOP to for language purpose, but do not completely rely on ChatGPT or any other AI sources.
Good.
Yes.
So if thank you so much. So if I may summarize what you said, so you mentioned about let's say it's three paragraphs. So the first one has to do with you,
Yes.
about yourself,
About
introduction about
yes.
yourself,
In brief.
in brief, like whatever you are going to almost like write in all of the other paragraphs, you try to concise that in the first paragraph, basically. Then the second paragraph has to do with your experience, okay, from undergrad, the internship you've done.
Even if you
Okay.
don't have experience, it is
Mm-hmm.
always okay to write it in a way that like what interests you more to work in that particular field of study.
Okay.
So you
So
can write that as well.
good. Then the other paragraph, of course. So the second paragraph maybe has to do with everything about your experience, what are the things you know
Yes.
regarding
Or
the
what you
field
wish
of
to
interest.
do in future. Yes.
Yes. Then the last one has to do with the university itself. To do thorough research for the university. Is it okay for people just to go to the internet and write about the university, like say the how the university is ranked? So is that useful?
That is definitely useful. Like you can mention about like saying, for suppose, let me talk about CMU.
CMU. Yeah.
So CMU is, as I mentioned earlier, CMU is one of the top college for civil engineering. So I've definitely mentioned that in my SOP. Like since this is a top college, I wanted to join this and pursue my master's, but that shouldn't be the only reason since it is a top college. You need to have some X factor in your SOP.
Okay.
Like that is what I'm saying. You need to research
Need to do more
about a
research.
professor or a work or
Okay. So
a
for
location or more opportunities. What interests you more about CMU apart
exactly.
from being a top
Apart
college?
from those general things
Yes,
like people know already that are in the
yes.
internet, what
Again,
actually put like what draws your attention?
yes.
To me, what I often tell people, like when writing SOP or even when they go for their visa interview, which is an area we'll come to soon. But
Mm-hmm.
again, what I tell people, look at the course content, what you're going to actually learn within the university and
Sure,
put
sure,
that like this really interests me because I know this
sure.
aligns with my career, what
Yes,
you want to achieve, and all of that.
exactly,
Instead of
exactly.
just putting like general things, some people will say, "I want to go and study to this university because the weather is
Yeah,
okay," or
yeah.
like those.
Those can also be reasons, is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
but
But
I did that's
it
important.
is not that great of a kind to mention it in an SOP. Like I want to see Pittsburgh, so that is why I want to get admitted to Carnegie Mellon University. That isn't the reason.
Okay, I
So you
see.
need to have a strong
Some
reason.
specific reasons.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay. 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 So now we've talked about, of course, your preparedness. You've talked about your application process, what you did. Then of course we've talked about the application. Now the next phase now, once you've decided, you've sent your applications and you've gotten your admissions. First of all, can you tell us how many universities you applied to and the
sure.
ones you got accepted and why did you decide to come to CMU in general?
Sure.
So first
Uh,
one has to do with the total number of universities you applied to.
yes. I've applied for minimal number of universities. One of those was Arizona State University. It is in West Coast. And second was Carnegie Mellon University. Third was New York University. And fourth was University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And fifth was University of Texas at Austin.
Okay,
So
so
these
you
are
applied
the
to 5 universities.
Yes, five universities in total. Out of those, I'm very sad to share that I've got rejected from University of Texas at Austin because what I thought is like Texas is a state where it has very good education.
Excuse me.
Oh,
Okay, this is working. Just want to check it's
it's
working.
working?
Yeah, yeah.
So Texas is a state where it has very good academic structure across the US, is what I've heard. And the research work also
Impressive.
interested me a lot. So yeah, that is the university that I got rejected for. For all the other universities, I've got admits.
Okay. So
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 yeah,
that's like if we can do maths. So you got to five times 20, that's 100. So like 80%
yes.
acceptance.
80% of acceptance for the
Acceptance
universities
universities you
that I've
applied to.
applied. Yes.
That's good. That's good.
Uh,
So now, of course, we've known the amount of universities you applied to, gotten how many
yeah.
acceptance you got, and you
You
got
have
one
asked
rejection. Then why CMU?
why is CMU? Yes. CMU was the second admit that I've got amongst all the universities. So first was ASU. Uh, since I've met all the minimum requirements for the universities, so that is, and my SOP got their impression from the university. So that is why I got selected into all these universities. Coming to the four universities list, CMU and University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign were the top colleges, top 10. They were in the top 10 list for civil engineering across the world. So I'm not too sure if it is across the world. It is across
Maybe
the US.
US, maybe
Maybe in US,
US.
yes.
Okay, it might be
Correct
private.
me if I'm
Anyway, they are
wrong.
top universities. Let's
Yes,
just put it
they're
that
top
way.
universities in the US. So I ruled out ASU. The main reason I've applied for ASU is I want to have a safer option On the other hand, because all these are top universities, if my luck wasn't good and if I got rejected to any of these universities, I should have a backup option, right? So
Yep.
that is why I chose ASU.
Yes.
So I suggest you, all of you, also keep one safe university which you can definitely have an admit for. So keep one university like
So,
that.
okay. So of course, but again, so you base your decision, you base your choice of selection amongst the universities that you got accepted to based on, is it based on the ranking only?
Like what
Like,
I
is
your
it
question was unclear for
okay?
me.
Is it based on the ranking because CME is ranked top? Like, is
No, no.
or
I
what else?
also,
What
I also
else? Yep.
let me tell you. So I got my IELTS score in August, midweek or so. I gave my exam late. That was my mistake. So after getting my score, like most of the university deadlines were coming to an end. So these were the universities, and I also don't want to spend much on my applications. I am pretty sure that I would get an admitted to one of the top universities, but we never know what happens next. So that is why I put ASU as the safer option. So coming to New York University, I've got a $9,000 scholarship also. But that course was for construction management, masters in MS in construction management. And CMU, the course curriculum at CMU, it was only like given masters in civil and environmental engineering. It was no more of a specification like you need to do structural or transportation or geotech, nothing like that. So if it was not specific in terms of specialization. So I chose this is the reason because like I can have exposure to a wide variety of courses in terms of sustainability or materials or construction or project planning, something, structures, transportation. So I can have a wide variety. So even after joining CMU, like you can ask in future, like have you touched all the courses like in geotech, in transportation, in water? Even that is not possible, right? I'm a human, and in my 1.5 year life at CMU, like I cannot touch all the courses, but but I have learned something which I haven't learned before during my undergrad. That I can proudly say.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So it's more like the same reason, especially the last one you gave. It has to do with like the flexibility
Yeah,
of
flexibility of choosing
choosing courses.
yes.
Like for some universities, it's
It is
fixed. Like
yes.
if they will tell you the first semester, this is the amount of courses you have to take.
Yes.
And they would not like they would just tell you
With
like you have to
me,
take nine, but they will tell you the exact one. So if it's structure timber you have to do,
yes.
it's what you have to do.
Yes, if
Like
there is a
strict.
specialization, like if I've for University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, I've got admitted into MS in civil engineering, civil and environmental engineering. But there is an option to choose specialization. There I've choose construction management. Okay, so if I would have completed my master's from University of Illinois, so then I in my degree there is something like majored in
Major in this.
construction management. So during my life at University of Illinois, if I would have done it there, so there, as Jibrilla mentioned, I would only have an option to choose courses from the
Okay.
construction management field.
I
So
see.
here at CMU, it isn't the option. Like I can go around, I can
Choosing.
play around all the courses. Like I can choose
Yeah.
courses from any department.
Which is why I had to do I had to do foundations to intelligence. Because I was thinking, okay, I had the opportunity to choose like different courses. I can learn this, I
It's
can learn
not
it,
only
you
from
know.
you, it's not like one thing I want to thank CMU is about at least civil engineering department is like the minimum requirement is 96 unit, like 12 units. Like you will get to know once if you get to admit to CMU. So if you complete the minimum requirement from your core department, either if it is civil or mechanical, it depends from the department to department. So if you, I'm talking about civil department at CMU. So if you finish your minimum requirement, there is always a flexibility to go around the business school and management schools, information systems. So it's like a game to play. Like if you are done with your minimum requirement, you can play around with all the courses that you are interested in.
Yeah.
Even it's not about the credit that you earn, it's the knowledge that you gain from the courses, is what I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Anyway, so
Everything you cannot do for grade stuff, right?
exactly.
Even
Especially,
at life, there is a point you have to choose
yes,
something you don't like or something that you're uncomfortable with.
exactly. Especially,
Yeah. I
especially.
hope no one goes into that situation, but there are times that everyone
No, that's
should go through that.
no. I think that's just the reality. It's not just about I want to make grades,
Yeah.
But again, now you're done. Like
Put your
you get few employers that are interested into your GPA. What they are interested in is what you are going to bring to the table. Like, what's your knowledge? Is that also? We'll come to that. Anyways, we'll come to that. Okay. So
Yeah.
of course you looked at the amount of universities you got accepted to. The ones you applied to 5, you got accepted to 4. You have 80% of acceptance. Then why you chose
And
CMU?
it again depends from person to person and the amount of universities that you have
Yes.
applied.
Yes. So
Yeah.
before we move away from the universities, do you remember the acceptance rate for CMU the time you applied? Because it's very low. Do you remember? It was 11.
I remember. Yeah, it was somewhere
11%.
around that person.
Oh my God.
And literally, like, I also want to share this
Yes.
thing. I've applied in like the deadline was being closed in August 28th or so. I've applied like 2 days prior to that, August 26th to CMU. And I've got my decision in early October, like September 31st or October 1st. I don't exactly remember the date because we were going on a trip from October 3rd.
Mhm.
So I heard this good news and it like I got a mail saying a decision was made on your application.
Yeah, decision has been made on your application.
I'm like literally holding my heart.
Whether it's
I'm literally holding my heart
it's
and
crazy,
I'm
huh?
like I'm praying to God. Like, okay, I'm happy with whatever the decision it is, but if it is a good decision, like if it
You'll
is
be
in
more
favor
happier.
to me,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm more happier and I'm more thankful to you. That is when okay, when I've opened the admission thing, and that first thing I've seen congratulations, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm thrown out of this. I'm thrown out of this tension. And then I looked at the admission letter. Yes,
Okay.
it was.
I think it was 11 actually because
It
I
was an
checked.
unforgettable moment. Like it was
Which is
around
why I
11:30 in the night in India, and all my family was sleeping, and I just banged the doors and woke them up and saying like this is one of the top colleges. This is the first top college that I've got admitted into. Immediately, I've texted in all my family groups and in all my cousins groups. Hey, I've got admitted into CMU, into the civil engineering department.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was one moment to be cherished.
Okay, okay. Because the reality, because CMU's percentage is very low acceptance, even the universities I got rejected, I was like, why do you reject me? First of all, CMU is ranked higher.
Yeah.
It's not as compared to the other university that actually rejected me. Then even in terms of like the percentage of acceptance, it's very low. For some universities, they are like 70, 65. I was like, why do you reject me? Like, anyways.
Yeah, and I also want to touch on one thing.
Mhm.
Don't be um stressed if you don't get an admit from a university. So if you get your rejection from a small university or a medium-sized university, and if you get admit from a top university, it is okay because each university have their own set of rules, right? So they can't accept all the admissions be that you apply to the universities. And there might have been filled out of seats as well because you might have applied it later. So there are several factors. So my suggestion is whenever the application is open,
Try to apply earlier.
try to apply earlier and keep all your scores, GRE, IELTS. I don't know what it varies from country to country. So
Fine. Just on that. The time you applied to CMU, GRE was waived,
yes,
right? So if okay, just get
yes.
it. If you had known that you will get, let's say, you get this feeling that you are going to be accepted to CMU, which is like one of the best universities in the US, would you have taken that money again to pay for GRE and all of that? Like, let's say, okay, you reach out before even you write the GRE, you reach out and there was an assurance that you will be accepted to CMU. Will you have taken again GRE just to try to order? Okay, right.
No.
I just want to get that.
The main reason that is also a reason actually. I was planning to apply for CMU, but I didn't know the deadline. Um, and my friend, he called me and he's like, "Hey, GRE is waived for the
CMU.
applications.
Mhm.
So immediately, please submit an application
Application.
for CMU because there is a high chance my GRE score was pretty low. Like, I don't want to share that
No,
information.
no, it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah, it
Mine,
was low. So, yeah.
mine as well. So slow because
Because
internet
it's
issues.
not that I have prepared well or not prepared well for the exam. It completely depends upon the luck.
Yeah.
Is what
Anyway, I don't want to talk about Jerry. It's okay. So now, of course, we talked about the universities, why you chose CMU. Now, once you've decided now that CMU is the university, um, of course, you've gotten, let's say, your I-20. I want us to go to the visa process. Were you the one who did your applications for your visa, everything, or are you having someone to guide you?
Definitely in this regard as well. That is what I've mentioned earlier as well. YouTube, I took help of YouTube. Like how to fill a DS-160. That is what I've watched from YouTube and did it parallelly. Yes, I did apply for my visa on my own, but
With the
for
help of
picking up the
videos.
for picking up the slots, visa slot, interview slots, it wasn't my
Easy.
work.
Mhm.
I've given it to an agent. Like that is how things in India work, at least, like as far as I know. There are agents who book slots for people for
So,
money.
so is it that if agent do that, there's high chance that you get a space, a slot? Is that the case? Because what they
Because
do.
what I have heard, okay,
Mhm.
this is what I have heard. Whenever this slot, the embassy opens the bulk slots for F1 interviews. So when they open the bulk slots, they give a notification. Like for that to receive that notification, you have to pay some amount, like register for that. So there is a specific amount. This is why everything that I've heard from my friend. Okay. So if you do that,
So you okay, I see.
so I think these agents also they do register
Pay
for
for
that
that.
and they do
So
like
they will be notified.
yeah, they will be notified. Since they have been in this work for years, they have the fastest thing for they do
So
quickly
once
select
you
the
have a
slot.
slot, they will select for you. And
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
Bef
that.
before telling before we telling a slot, like we need to tell in which month we are planning, because there are some, it's not only the educational and academic backgrounds that you take to your visa interview. There is some financial document, loan document that you have to take to your interview and prove that you are funding yourself for the visa interview. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff. So
Okay. So now
so
once you
based on that, you give a tentative date to the agent and he books the slot accordingly.
okay.
Yes.
So my case was different because I had to do
Yeah, that's
almost
what I'm saying.
yeah.
It varies from country to country. So I don't know how
I
things
had
work in other countries.
well, I had to do it on my own actually. I scheduled and got a date.
Yeah, but
Okay.
all the application process I've done
Okay.
it here.
Okay. So now um on the day for your visa interview,
Yeah.
how was it like? Were you nervous? Like, how do you prepare, in fact, for your visa interview? Do you have a coach, someone to teach you, or do you have a family member like to assist you, preparing you for your visa interview?
Yeah, of course, my sister, she's also completed her master's in the US from Arizona State University. So, yeah, of course, she took some mock interviews, and my friend took some mock
With
interviews.
you?
Yes, with me. And they have helped me. Like, the way I'm answering is not wrong, but it should be more in a polite way and in a more structured way. So they have helped me to their fullest. I once again thank them. And also, at last, how much you prepare at the end of the day, it is you and the interviewer. Like your conversation gets you a visa, is what I believe. Like, how confident are you? How confident you tell answers? And how honest are you? They also see that factor. So, yeah, please don't lie or don't fake things. This is all what I can suggest to all the upcoming
Okay.
people to US.
Okay. So you are
Please be
basically saying,
honest and tell whatever you feel, whatever you get from the bottom of the heart. Please stay respectful. Yeah.
well, what I've been telling people when I coach people, if you have to lie, even if you have to lie, you have to make up story because I don't call it a lie. I don't like saying it's a lie.
Yeah.
Even if you have to make up a story, make it as something that is relatable. Like they can relate to it. You don't want to just pick up a story somewhere. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Let's say they ask you, "What is your future plans?" And you will say, "When I come out, I'm going to become a CEO." Like, where do you get the money? Like, it's not aligned. Your story should align. That's what I used to tell people. Even if you have
It's
to.
okay. Even I told a similar story, but it isn't a story. It is my future dream. Like I always had a feeling of starting my own business at a particular age. So as Dibrilla mentioned, there are a lot of factors. Like you need to have the entire knowledge starting our own business. You need to have that patience to control or lead people in your company. You need to have patience to face several challenges. As a worker, like as the part of team, you hold a lot of stress. As a manager, as a chairman, as an MD, managing director, there is a lot more to handle. So you need to have all that patience, and of course, money is a major factor. So yeah, it takes time, but that is what I've told. I
Okay.
want to have, like, my short term goal is to have to do so and so in the US, and my long term goal is to have so and so in my own country. Is
Okay.
what I've told.
Okay. So touch on the preparation. Now we are moving away from India, from visa stuff. You've gotten your, let's say, I just want to hear about your reaction when you went for the interview and
Mhm.
we are told that your visa is
Is
approved.
approved.
How do
Yeah.
you feel?
Yeah. Like he asked me several questions, like regarding all the interview and my financial stuff and everything. And he asked that at least let me share my experience.
Yep.
In my consulate, they take biometrics after the end of the interview. Like he asked me to place my four fingers on the biometric, and I placed my fingers and I'm feeling a lot of tension and with a lot of weight in my heart. I'm like, okay. And I was not nervous. I was not like feeling sad even if I get rejected, because what I should do, what I should try from my end, what I should do from my end, I have given my 110%, not 100%. I've given what
Everything
I've given everything that
you feel you need
yeah,
to.
I need
You've
to.
done your best.
Yes,
Like
best.
whatever
Apart
happens
from
now.
best, I've given something. So what I feel. So yeah. And after placing my four fingers, he's like, "Your visa is approved." Yeah, and I'm still in confusion, and I'm just still staring at him like this. And he's like, "Visa, your visa is approved. Congratulations." And the visa officer, he didn't have a smile or a reaction on his face. And my state of mind is like, wait, what is he saying, that I'm approved and I have to leave this place right now? And after, like, I just thanked him. Thank you, officer. And then I absolutely cannot run in the consulate.
Oh, yeah, I know. You
I did a brisk walk. I did a fast walk.
you try to contain the happiness
Yeah,
in you.
yeah. Because in the next counters to me, there were many rejections. Even before me, there was a rejection. So like that is everything is in my mind, and I was very happy, and immediately I went out and my mom came in front of me, and I'm like, "Mom, my visa is approved." Yeah.
I see.
I was stuck for a minute when the visa officer said congratulations. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's come to coming to um US. The first thing I want you to tell viewers, what is that one thing you were really shocked about US in general? Like if you are thinking, okay, this is how things works in the US, or this is what happens, or whatever it is. But when you came, it was totally the opposite. Like what? Like what? That's one thing that you were really shocked about. Like
the cultural, like I haven't been shocked for anything, but the cultural shock in terms of uh like I don't in India the currency is the rupee. And what I used to get it there for 20 rupees, here I'm spending it for $5. Like I need to buy it here for the same quantity and the same stuff for $5, which is around 400 rupees. Almost it is 20
times what you used to buy
what I
in
used to pay back in India. So that was a big cultural shock.
see, so
To me, yeah,
it's about
and
the value of the currency.
yes,
Basically,
yes.
things are cheap. So when you are here now, you feel like
yes,
are
things
cheaper
are cheap in India.
when you came. The
Of
same
course,
thing.
of course. In the later, I came to know that the things in the US, according to their pricing standard, it is also cheap. But whenever it is in the initial stages, not even a week or so, when I came back from India, after seeing these prices, it is a necessity. I have to buy it. But it is not like I have to buy it for this rate or this price. But still, I had to buy it because I had to survive in the US. Yeah, because the amount I'm spending, the same amount I've been earning in the US as well. So yeah.
I see. It's like if you're in
And
India,
of course, weather. We came in winter in January. Like initially, when I just came from the airport, there is smoke coming out from my nose and ears because of the ice, because of the snow. There is some smoke coming out, and I was literally shocked. Man, what is this? Like, did I
in
get
cold.
affected with any disease? So what I thought. Yes.
Okay, so now, of course, when you come to CMU or you come to US, you need to find housing, where to live. You have to decide on all of that. So I just want us to touch on that quickly. Okay, how do you find housing? Did you do that before even you
Yes.
travel?
Yes.
How did you? Because for me, I was on Facebook groups, checking, joined some CMU Facebook groups, and again, but I was not too sure because of these scam stuff, scammers. Some people just post pictures. I have a place very close. They will tag a price and all of that. How did you do yours? And I got scammed. I
Oh,
got scammed. Yeah.
oh, okay. Sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
And I was not scammed. I need to be thankful for that. I was not scammed. Like initially my visa slot was not booked. Nothing was happening. I just got an admit. And then I've booked my flight ticket to US. The one thing I have to share is after booking my flight ticket to US, I've booked my visa interview. And then after booking my flight ticket, I've been searching for housing. And luckily, we have got a house within a cheap rate. It
So
was
you do that in India while you're
yes,
in
I
India?
did that in India before coming to the
How
US
sure?
because we had CMU groups.
Okay.
Like I also
Like
got
within
that
India and
group, yes,
okay,
within India.
so you are more confident because these people are from your home country, so
Yes,
at
yes,
least
yes,
they can help you get.
yes,
Oh, I see. I see.
yes.
Mine was different because I had no one to chat with, so I just have to do it on my own, check
Yes, for
and see.
me, it was a good thing because in the groups that we have been looking for, all the students like who are subleasing their place, uh, like who are giving a temporary accommodation at their place, they're moving out and they're temporarily accommodating other people at their place. So most of them were students who
Okay.
had to travel because they've got their jobs. So that is the reason.
Okay.
Yeah. And while looking for roommates or things, yeah, you need to look for cheaper places initially because you don't have um the idea like how much is it gonna cost per a month, like how much are gonna the utilities, how much are you gonna earn after taxes. So this everything you need to understand as an international student.
Yeah,
It's
I
okay if
think
you have financial support from your family or in terms of loan or anything, it is okay, but it is always a good practice to keep options in the lower price. If you are not comfortable there, then it is okay. But yeah, I'm not suggesting you all of you to look at for cheaper places. It is also not possible. Some of them they respect privacy. Even I had my privacy in my house. So yeah.
so one of the most important things starts early and
Start early. Looking for jobs, internships, everything. Start early.
okay, we'll come to jobs soon.
Yeah, sure.
So the earlier you start to find a housing, the better. And of course, if you are coming from a country wherein, if you've done your research and know that there are students within, there are students from the same country that are attending that same university, reach out to them, join those groups, will help you a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, the experiences are different.
Try reaching out to seniors, try reaching out to department or the college, like if they have any off-campus housing. Yeah, that is always a good practice. Mail them if you have any doubts, mail your advisor or mail your friend, or keep looking for people on LinkedIn,
Okay. Now,
connect with them, and yeah.
of course, we all know, um, yes, it's very expensive, especially in certain cities or other areas. How are you able to manage your cost, like what you eat, what you put on, because maybe it's different from CMU, like in terms of transportation. But how
Yes.
are you able to manage? Did you put a specific budget, like it should not exceed per month? Do you
Yes.
take note of all of that?
Yes. This might sound a bit weird, but I used to keep a track of everything, like how much I am earning, how much I'm earning based on my hourly pay, and how much tax I'm getting deducted. So how much I'm getting in terms of after taxes, and how much is my monthly rent. So as I mentioned earlier, I've went for a cheaper option for the housing. It's not that I'm not comfortable. I am comfortable within the limitations. Yes. I used to not compromise for food. There are certain things that you don't have to compromise because food, if you don't have proper food, you can't work, you can't study. The main reason for you to come into US is to study, not to save money or something. But it is always a good practice to have money because even in the US, there are situations uh, like there can be situations where you might need money and you don't have them. So, like, yeah, I used to, for everything, for electricity, I usually don't put on lights whenever I'm not home. Like, I usually keep them off. I use the resources very minimally. Uh, yeah,
So the
kind of minimalizing the utilities or the usage. To be precise, if it is not needed, do not use. If it is needed, use to the extent that you need it.
I think
That's all what I can suggest. Yeah.
it's more like the direct opposite of the kind of person like the one you are sitting very close to because yes, because even I don't keep even track of like what I eat or this
Yeah,
and that,
you need to
which
keep
of
a
course,
track of it.
which is key, and it affected me so
Yes,
much.
yes, yes.
It really does because what I was thinking, like during the summer break, I was going to get an internship, which will come to. But at the end of the day, I didn't get an internship. So for that 3 months, oh my God, I suffered because I have used all my money, hoping that okay,
Yeah.
in summer I'll get some money to use, but unfortunately I did not get that. And even like uh, uh, uh um not basically putting off things that you don't use like lights or other things or heat, all of that. I just leave them at home, like that one, come to campus, go back, something like that. And at the end of the month, the money, like the money you have to pay for utilities is so much. So
Yeah.
guys, be sure you are prudent. The only thing is that while you are trying to be moderate with your spending, that money to eat, make sure it is there always to eat so that
Uh,
you will have time to study because you're not here to save. But
yes.
however, you should of course be prudent with your spending, know what you do. But anything that has to do with food, make sure you eat well and study because at the end of the day,
You have come
you have
here
to
for
pass.
study. Yes.
Exactly. Okay.
And I also want to share one thing.
Yep.
Like whatever the paycheck you receive, even if you are not planning to come to US, even if you are in your own country, what I suggest is if you are earning $100 per paycheck, so keep some $10 or $15 apart. Within that 85 or $90, you spend, like you pay your rent or you pay your utilities or you spend that 90 for your enjoyment or movies or games or whatever fun you want.
Okay.
So that $15, so if you do that for 10 paychecks continuously, so there itself you are saving 100 to $150, right?
Yep.
So that amount can be useful some or the other time in your life. So I do this practice all the time. So
Trust me. Now let me just share this one with you. Since I came to CMU,
mhm.
until this, when I told you like I got a scholarship,
Yeah, you
that's
got
the only time so far. This like when I'm done already, that's the only time I think I sent money to my other accounts, like the one which I call it, how do you call it? Three accounts. Okay, I'm spending
savings
reserve.
check.
Yes, that's the time I like put money on my reserve. All of this while I was just putting on spending, and of course I have to use the card. I just Like, it's crazy. So, guys, I think I got the best person today to actually tell you if you want to be prudent and he's so sensitive when it comes to money. He's so sensitive, you know.
It's okay.
But it's good. It's good.
Like you
It's
don't
good.
have to spend money rigorously. Like even if there
Yeah.
is no need, you don't have to spend it. Since you have it, you don't have to spend it. That is the main thing that many of us have to understand.
It's good. It's good. Okay. So now you mentioned a bit about paycheck. People may want to know, like, how we are you able to get some revenue other than the one you like, maybe from families. How are you able to support yourself? Because of course we've not talked about what you use for your main funding, but I just want you to share with the audience how we are you able to get money, like on campus job. How do you find on campus job? Okay.
As an international student, you can work on campus for 20 hours per week. This is the rule that I know. So you can work on campus. It can be any university or any under any professor within the university, within your university. So that will help you financially, is what I suggest. I and Jibrilla both have been graders, like assisting our professor with grading the students' assignments. So we get paid for that. So that is how he himself funded for his
Yeah.
monthly payments, and that is the same with me.
Okay.
Yeah. Or else if you don't have anything, start working under a PhD student as a research assistant or something. So even they can fund you until they can. So yeah,
Okay.
I think these are the options. And here at CMU, we had CMU Pantry, which gives free stuff to students like laundry detergents or food or the
Yeah.
basic utilities that we need for our home. They give it to free for students. The pantry usually runs on donations. So yeah, it's not that every time we have the same quantity or same stuff. Since it is run by donations, like yeah,
I think
Gabriella
I
was
think
the
that
person who got most benefited from the
from
pantry.
Bantu. No, like, okay,
So
it's
it is not same with all the other universities. They might have some
different.
different things.
Yeah.
So make sure once you get into the universities, you
Know
get to
these
know
things.
all of these things. Because Jibrilla got to know that very late and he had suffered a lot with cooking stuff. So yeah.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, like I think so. It's basically saying once you get to the university, know your way around the university, how to get maybe a campus job, where to get it. Because even myself, what I was thinking, apart from grader,
Yeah,
yeah, and
like I
library.
also want to tell one thing.
Mhm.
Like if your college is starting on January 1st, first instance,
Mhm.
so you can travel to US with before a month. Like from December 1st, you can start traveling. Before December 1st, you cannot. Okay, there is
Okay.
a 1 month time frame before your college start date and
Okay.
your travel to the US. So when you can do that, so make sure you at least travel 1 week or 10 days prior to starting off your college so that you'll get accustomed to the weather here. That is one thing. You will have jet lag like after traveling 24 or how many hours. It may vary from country to country. So it depends. Like you need to get some rest. You need to buy some things for your home. You need to buy some grocery stuff. You need to open your bank account. So I suggest coming a week or 10 days prior
Will
is
help you.
definitely beneficial for you because Jibrilla was not in a position to come earlier and he had to go through
A
some
lot,
stuff.
a
Yeah.
lot, a lot, a lot.
So, yeah, this is the suggestion from my end.
So yes, just to summarize that, of course, in fact, uh, everything about studying abroad is being is doing it earlier.
Yeah.
from booking visa interview because that will help you as well. I'm
From
unfortunate.
booking tickets as
Yes,
well,
exactly. Tickets,
because
everything you have to start earlier. Even if you are
because
planning now to apply to US university for the spring, now some universities have opened their portal for that spring. Start now. Collect the information you need. If you have to write your test, make sure you've written those tests. Get everything earlier because that's going to help you even to be considered for scholarship. We have priority deadlines. Everything you have to start earlier, because even the jobs on campus, if you are here earlier, just like you said, you'll be able to find jobs and maybe get a job within campus or even those greater positions. So many other things. So everything you have to do it
it's
earlier.
okay. One thing I also want to share, networking. Like, try connecting with people, talk to people more, keep in touch with people, host some parties, stay connected.
Stay
That
connected.
is the way you build new friendships, new connections.
True.
And some or the other time, these connections can never go wrong or useless. So yeah, connections
Okay.
are always helpful.
Important.
You need to maintain
Uh,
connections.
well, I think for like in if I just want to move away from the discussion because like for me and you, I think once I saw you, I was like, I don't know, but we just clicked. Like I was confident to talk to you. I felt like you are the only, like, to me, it was like you are the only new student, you
Yeah.
and Ben, or something like that. So I just have this connection. Okay, let me talk to this person, and I got used to it. And you've been that person very close to me. So it's very important because even like my last semester, it helped me a lot, like, to identify one of the areas he has been working, like the on-campus job, and that helped me a lot, at least because things were bad, if not for him, and it would have been difficult. So connecting, find someone you think if they know about something, they are not here to compete with you, they will help you as well. They will call you to attention. Okay, yeah, there's something there. And so it's good. So networking is good. Anyway, so yeah. So let's look at what has been your experience in finding internship and what advice do you have for future students with regards to finding internship?
Internship.
Yes.
Uh, uh, okay. Like I and Jibrilla both were admitted into MS in Civil and Environmental Engineering Applied Study Program. Here in this department, there is a program called Applied Study, where we have to do an internship. If not, we don't do an internship, they just remove the applied study degree. But still, internship is a very good opportunity for international students to put the theoretical knowledge, what they have learned so far, into the practical industry standards and get to know them better, like in the work environment, are they being a good fit or not? Like these are all the factors that make a person better, more, much more better, is what I felt. So uh, I've been applying to internships since we are in the applied study program. The main drawback I feel is like joining in spring semester was a drawback for us because most of the companies that I had interviewed with, I don't know if Jibrilla faced the same issue that I had interviewed with, is like they see my resume, they like my experience, and everything is okay with me. And what they feel is like, you have not completed 1 year of study in the US. That is the reason, like, that is what even USCIS, the Homeland Security thing, even they have a rule saying international students cannot work before their 1 year of study. So that the companies that I had interviewed with, they have been stick to that rule. and they have ruled me out from the internship process, even after having the final round interviews. Uh, like I had, I was, I felt very sad for not getting an internship, but that was completely not my fault because I've tried my level best in finding an internship. And if I wouldn't have tried, I wouldn't have at least got through the interviews at least. So I think I've tried. And at the end of the day, in any after applying, there is nothing that you could do. So it is again the company's decision, the HR's decision. Uh, it's okay. Like I don't regret for not doing an internship in the US, but I had two beautiful and very useful internship experiences that I had. So yeah.
So of course,
But what I suggest is
Mhm.
so when you get one or two rejections, immediate rejections are also very common. I shouldn't say this, like, not common for everybody, but for me, I've got immediate rejections. So keep do applying. If you are in the US, keep do applying. Don't neglect uh the search of internship. And again, it's just a numbers game. Even in Sudoku, the hardest level, you keep trying, like uh to find where this number suits, where this number suits. So you are just a number. Like the managers are playing the game, and then when they find the right place, they put you in that correct
okay.
position where you
So
fit.
yeah, thank you. So on the internship, you are basically advising people, if you have the opportunity, of course, be here during the fall semester. So by the
Yes.
summer, which means you would have taken like a year, will help you a lot. Of course, I think there was one employer that told me almost the same thing.
It is
And I
also like I'm not again advising all students only to come in fall
fall, but
semester because our course program was only for 1.5 year. We only had one summer from January to December, and we are graduating in May. We have
yeah,
graduated in May. So we did not have an extra
opportunity. No,
summer. So if this was a 2 year program,
this
we
again
would
was an
have a
opportunity.
second summer. So then we by then we would have at least completed our 1.5 year of our program, and then we would have definitely done a
Internship.
ship. Yes.
Yeah, I guess if like right
It's
now
because
we have
that,
higher chance
yeah,
of getting,
yeah,
yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, again, so it depends on the university, basically.
yeah,
Depends on the
the
university program,
program.
the
And I'm
program, the
not
duration.
regretting for not having or doing an internship. I thought that was a time where which I can use to self motivate myself to have to know a better person in me. That is what I felt, and that is what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, because the
I
reality,
had a trip to my extended family relatives as well, so I
okay,
had beautiful
yeah,
time. So
because
yeah.
the summer takes like 3 months. So if you're not doing an internship, either you engage in something else. So um of course, every student who has the opportunity to do an internship would like to do one. I was so confident, like because of my experience, I've had like some professional experience. I was like, even when Manu was telling me,
And
"Have you applied this?" That I said, "I will start applying." I was so confident that I was going to get an internship because it would just
in
take me,
your
you know.
experience, like that really doesn't matter, is what I've
You see,
seen.
yeah.
Because I've known a friend like who has some 4 or 5 years experience, and he did not end up getting an internship. So there might be several reasons for not getting an internship. You don't have to get stressed or something, but it's just you have to keep applying, and you know what you are. You shouldn't lose your confidence or drop down your confidence after getting a rejection. Yeah.
So let's just come to that.
Keep
How
your resume proper, keep your LinkedIn proper. Like up to date in chronological and in a very structured manner. Yeah, that is what all I can suggest.
So just to touch on that before we move to another area, how do you deal with these rejections? Because of course you are applying, you are putting your efforts, and you expect like positive news, but how are you able to cope? Like, was it like you normalize the rejection, so this is part of the process? So if I get it, but what about the first one or two or three rejections? How were you able to cope? Like,
Sure. Like dealing with rejections. To talk in regard with this question, I have to talk about my University of Texas at Austin rejection first, because that was the first rejection I faced in my life for the US processing. So coming to that rejection, why I was very hopeful for UT Austin was because that was the college giving high standard education, like with the all compared to the all top colleges. It was also one of the top colleges for civil engineering. But it wasn't this expensive as CMU or other colleges. So that was the main reason, because at the end of the day, it is you who has to pay your loan or debt or whatever you call it for your MS funding. So I thought for that. And what I also thought after my rejection was, after they rejecting me, is okay, I did not have the potential. I have already met the minimum requirements. Okay. I've already met the minimum requirements. That is why I've applied to that university. I thought the reason that I did not get into that university was they might have not been impressed because of my SOP, or I might be an late applicant, or they might have found better profiles than me. That doesn't mean I'm not a better profile, and that does not drop down my resume or drag my profile down. So one thing I want to talk about rejections is you shouldn't feel bad if you are getting rejected. The more you get rejected, the more strong you become, is what I feel. And even for full-time opportunities, Gibrilla knows that for one company, how optimistic I was, because there was no wrong from my end, is what I feel. Everybody feels that, because whatever you do, you feel that it was right. And moreover, when you are giving an interview, you try to give your 100%. You give your 100%. Some people give more than 100%, more than what they can do in terms of dressing or whatever, in terms of the language that you speak, in terms of the confidence that you usually have. Everything matters. But yeah,
at the end of the day,
I was very optimistic. Try to remain optimistic and believe in one thing, like whatever is happened for you has happened for a reason. If you are getting a rejection, that has happened for a reason, and you will have a better life or a better opportunity in the near future,
okay.
is what you should think.
Yes, sorry for just
Sure.
interjecting. So basically, as much as we are putting in our efforts and all of that, of course, I know
Mhm.
how difficult it is. But again, you should have that faith that if I'm getting rejected for this job, maybe there is a better job waiting for me.
Yeah,
If
that
I'm
is
getting
what
rejection for this,
that is
because
how I think.
yes, because if you have it in you that way, which is the case for me as well, whatever happens to me that is negative, even when I was having my troubles, okay, there was something. Look, at the end of the day, I never thought I would have like I'll finish my masters,
Financially.
and at the end of the day still have some cash with me because of certain
Yeah.
situations.
Yes,
But I
yes.
just
I
think,
totally
okay,
agree.
if this happened, there is a reason why this is happening. If not for that, maybe I wouldn't have gotten even the money they advocated, all of that, so many other things. So yes, sometimes it's helped because it is true. Some of the jobs, some of the interviews, just like the one last interview I did, which took me like an hour, and like after the interview, they will tell you that, okay, we are going to send you the other things, the other benefits you need to see. So I was like, okay, I'm already part of this company. And at the end of the day, for them to call me back and tell me, other stories, I felt so bad. But just like he mentioned, always be optimistic. If it happens, maybe there is a better coming,
there is definitely a reason for
a reason for your
everything.
rejection,
So
of course,
yeah,
and you will get something better. That's the only mindset you need to have and keep applying. Okay? Because it's not easy. Might not even get internship,
because
you know.
even everyone in their life, I don't think they've got their first job without any rejection in their first attempt. No one gets their job. There might be some people who might have got their job in their first attempt, but not necessarily everyone has to get a job like that. So dealing with rejections
It's
is
part of the
like,
process.
yeah, you need to accept the reality. There might be several reasons for them to not choose you and go over other persons.
Yeah. Okay.
And they can send like I also want to talk about one of the rejection mail that I've got. Like how Jibrilla is calling me Mano. If that was a rejection system automated mail, it would definitely come with the name Manoradh. Like Manoradh is my full name. So it would come with my full name. So while we had a conversation with the HR, she was calling me Mano. And she literally wrote that mail to me. It's like she was impressed by my skill set, but there is a time even she had to convince others, like in terms of sponsorship or whatever the reason might be. They had to convince some set of people why to hire an international student, why to sponsor him, why we have to spend some time or some money or whatever. Like most of the companies they've been looking for like what work, like they have to hire someone who already knows that work or who already is in a position to do that work. So we are not as an entry level, like I want to talk about myself. We have to like
Yeah,
learn
you have to learn
something and then contribute what we have learned. It's not that from day one we are going and
to
talking
just
to clients and managing all the projects and finishing
to
up everything.
for entry level position, you learn the ropes as you go. Maybe the first 6 months is all about learning
Yes.
process.
Yes.
So maybe some companies may want you to just come and just kick off. Some, even though they will say you still learn, but they still want someone
Yes.
who can just come in and be able to kickstart whatever their position
It
is.
completely depends
Yeah,
from company
because
to
the
company.
reason why I like, of course, I told you just now that if I had like maybe a green card or something else, because I've gotten companies that would tell me, okay, that position we know, like you have everything, but the kind of person we need to work in this particular area is someone with
Yes, even I
area
have
citizen.
faced
So
that.
when I get that, I feel like, okay, meaning if I had gotten this one, and there are certain
It's not that we definitely get a job, but at least we would have gone through the interview and we get to
exactly.
know more about the company or anything.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
I've had even recruiters like you are talking, and once they ask you that question, like, will you now or in future require sponsorship? And once you tell them yes, that's the like the end. Of course, there are companies, and just to know, there are companies that are ready to sponsor. Maybe we have not been able to find those companies, even if we've been able to figure out those companies, but maybe there are better applicants. So that's
Exactly.
just the thing. You may feel that you have the experience. Like for me now, if I apply somewhere, again, because I always look at jobs, their description, what they require. I need to feel like I have 75% of the skills they require. Like I can go today and start something, 75% confidence. But again, because I don't just put applications, but again, you still get rejection because you have other people and sometimes the way I think about it, I just want to feel like as if I am the employer. If I'm the employer, I'm looking for a qualified applicant. There is no sympathy in selection. In selection, I have to look at someone that I think,
Yes,
yes, you
yes.
almost have like 99%. You can come in and be able to contribute. Okay, okay, so that's it. On the internship, jobs, stuff, how you will be able to accept rejections and how you deal with them. So just it's just part of the process. I believe that if you are rejected, there's a better job out there for you, waiting for you. Okay, and don't look down on yourself. Same way for okay, one of uh, um I think a week ago, a lady sent me a message like she wants to apply to one of the universities, and I she wrote the statement of purpose. I looked at it and looked at it together. She sent her application. I think it didn't. The application did not even take like 5 days, and she received a rejection. She was crying and all of that, and that was like the first university. I think okay, it was the second university. I think, and I laughed because, and this is why I laugh, not because it's just admission rejection. What about if you had gone for, let's say, interview, visa interview, and you get so if you can cry
Like
because of those rejection,
I totally understand because that was the first rejection I
no,
think that she
yes,
might have
maybe
faced
exactly like
in her
it
life
was like
because
calm
even
down, cool down,
even I was not crying, but I felt very sad for getting a rejection from University of Texas at Austin. And I don't even know what I would have done even if
No,
I got my visa rejected.
no,
Like
rejection.
it's always hard. Like we
So,
cannot manipulate or tell others to stay strong, but what all we can advise is okay, something better. Like she might in future.
get
I
a
wish
better.
she definitely gets the good university admit in the near future. Wishing you all the best.
I
Good
think,
luck.
yeah, I think because
Everybody, wishing everybody good.
that's just the thing. You get rejections all the time. I
It's
remember.
okay. Even after acquiring a job, even in terms of any at any point of time, you have to deal with any kind of rejection in your life. So you need to stay strong for that.
After getting CMU, getting the other universities, all these top universities. So when I went to Turkey, because I didn't just want to sit, I wanted to try other universities and see maybe I'll get more funding or fully funded or blah, blah, all of that. And there was this university, because I have known now the process, I reached out to them, like had conversation, I was so confident. And all the other universities I applied to before that university, I was not even paying application fee. For them, I needed to pay. And I was like, okay, now I have confidence. I know my profile
It's
and all of
okay.
that.
Even if you pay some amount
That's
to a
what I'm saying.
university,
It was like as if they were just waiting for me to apply. Once I applied, it didn't take them long. Then rejection, but and I was like, why are you waiting for me? Like for me, just you feel like you've just wasted your money, but it is part of the process. Okay, just keep going. Just keep doing what you do. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay, so let's look at something else whilst we try
sure.
to round up. Now on the and this one, I don't know if you experienced this. I just want you to, what advice would you give prospective students on whether when they first come, they are doing their first semester, whether they should just take just the minimum courses or they'll just say, okay, because let's say for CME, of course, you have 54 as the maximum, the minimum 36, or they should just open their arms and take. Because for me, and let me just say this, so you have to come in. For me, I feel like no matter, actually, if you checked, because we know we have 36, right? If I have multiplied 36 times 3, I know I'll get like, was it 108?
Yes.
So meaning I'm okay. Why do I have to bother myself? Like, trust me, I only thought of that when we are done.
Yes, yes.
I was like, why did I put myself in a situation? Because during my first meeting, I took like 45. What? What is the point? What was the reason? You know? So I just want you to tell prospective international students, those that are coming to US, what do you think? Is it advisable for them to also take courses just like that? Or because they may not know the system, so many other things for them to learn, is it okay for them just to take the minimum courses, then as soon as they go, they will take more courses?
I think like I've took the minimum requirement only 36 units in my first semester. Because what I've thought is like I also have to apply for internships. And I also had work under professor as a grader, as I mentioned earlier. So I have to manage my household works. I have to have time for myself for applying jobs or for my enjoyment purpose. or for my work, or anything it can be. So I don't.
Is this one working?
So I didn't want to have too much of courses and too much of workload in my first semester because I had to manage everything on my own. Uh, like as I said, it was me only individually cooking or
So
whatever stuff it can be. So I had a lot of things to do. So I preferred to take only minimum three courses, minimum requirement of courses.
I
Yes.
think it makes so much sense. You know, and
Because at the end of the day, you don't have to feel the coursework or your personal life as a burden. Because of anything, you shouldn't feel that. Because of your workload, you shouldn't feel that you've took too many courses or taking this course is making my life harder. It's a different scenario. So at least in your first semester to get things, to get used to things. So I would suggest to take the minimum requirement at any university.
trust me, I have never. I
If
don't know how
any.
I didn't think about that. And again, just to add to that, because if I had done that, I'm sure, of course, you know my story. I should have done much
Yeah.
better. And again, just like you mentioned, because first semester, I have a grader, I have to grade. You know, you have so many other things to do, and even like the communication, the Slack stuff, some of those things I missed deadlines because I didn't even know the means of communication, like how to communicate with professors. I have used to like in my country, everything is by maybe the worst would be like email. Everything is hard copy or something like that. Yeah, like this is a more
Like that's
advanced
what I'm
university.
saying. To get used to everything,
Exactly.
it
So
takes
it's
you at least 1 2. Like for me, it took at least 2 months. So I suggest, like in your first semester, you shouldn't feel the workload, or you shouldn't feel like going back to your country, or you shouldn't feel like this life is so stressful. So even taking the minimum amount of courses, I felt
it's
it at
also
a point of
yeah.
time. It's not that because apart from the even if you are not taking the minimum amount of credit, the university does not allow you to, like, not to not taking the minimum amount of unit. You definitely have to do that. So in order to do that, you have to manage your time. For that, it is not same with everybody, like to manage the time in a similar way. So you need to work on it, like you at least spend a day or two, like to finalize, like see what courses I'm taking, what other things I have to do, what is my enjoyment purpose. Because in life it's not that you have to completely study or you have to completely work or you can't completely being stick to one thing. So you have to keep prioritize things. So you as an individual have to decide like what is your time for enjoyment, what is your time for work, what is your time for study. You have to have a timetable. Not a timetable, you just have to have a clear vision, like what are you gonna do in that time.
Trust me, I know, and of course, if you are listening by this time, you know, of course, I know, of course, you've learned, and I've learned a lot from you already. And maybe if I had had these
Good to
discussions with
know
you,
that.
no, trust me, just the reality. Like for me, even though I don't want to put the blame on like my supervisor, you
Yes,
know,
yes.
but I think they may have some role to play in that as well. And it's something I was planning to suggest to Melissa that yeah, I understand. I don't want to change anything. I know some students, they are very brilliant and all of that. But if like advisors advise students, like, okay, just take the minimum because you can never tell. The reality that the education system is totally different.
One thing I also want to touch upon,
Mhm.
discuss with your advisors. It can be primary or your main advisor or your academic advisor, whatever.
Speak louder
Please.
a bit.
Okay. Please talk to your advisors regarding the course selection or the minimum amount of courses. So what I face this professors, they usually don't tell that you don't take the maximum units because what they feel is they don't have the right to say that.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, you as an individual, it's your responsibility to manage all the courses that you have took and all the other works that you are responsible for doing. So they just suggest what you should do. At end of the day, it is you as an individual who has to do it. Yes.
And again,
That's what I
just
want to touch upon.
exactly. And to do well, I just want to touch on and to
Approach art.
yeah, it's okay. That should be okay. It's a new phone, so it will take some time. So just to touch on that, what I think again is very important when it comes to like to help you actually make either good grades or you not be in a position where you feel like just like what Mano said, you feel like I'm being pressured. You know, it's your decision, right? You make those decisions to decide on the amount of courses, which of course we would advise you
It's
take just the
okay.
minimum.
I also want to talk about my last semester course.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that which I've really struggled for.
Mm-hmm.
It was my own decision to register for that course. Uh, and I tried my level best to succeed in it. At the end of the day, I completed the course, is what I wanted to say, but it was a
So
really tough time for me. And I'm not blaming professor or the course or anything, but yeah, because it is me as an individual
who
who is
selected
responsible, who selected
decide
the
the course.
course. Yes,
Yeah, maybe you should have taken something else. Like
something else.
if
Yes,
you know you're not, yes, I know, of course, things might turn out different, but if you're not too confident, you think like maybe I might you have any bit of like you're not sure, maybe and again, even like the first semester, what I would advise people to do, apart from taking the minimum course, if you know you're familiar with a specific course, take those courses in your first semester. So it will help you feel
like if
relaxed,
you have a brief idea and
idea
if you
of
want to
exactly.
develop, like to know more about the course, you could
Exactly. Okay,
take
like
that
when
course.
I came, if I had done like let's say AutoCAD because I've been
Yes,
drawing all
yes,
of that,
yes.
I would
Makes
just like
sense.
it's just a transition, right? I don't have to like, okay, look at when I did Foundation to Intelligence, something I never seen, and I messed up. So that's the thing, like do the minimum and do the courses that you are familiar with. Try to find those courses. Okay, this is just a general question. What general advice do you have? And this is specific for international students, especially those from your country, India, that wish to come study in the US for their studies. What general advice do you have? Like, what's like the most important thing they should look for, even maybe they select you in universities or
Uh,
just a summary of that in general?
yes. Coming to looking, first choose the correct program that you want to do. Like since you have completed your undergrad, if your family or someone is more into business or you want to do business, look for business related courses. Or if you want to be a master in something, like you want to pursue MS, and look for full-time jobs, is that your goal? So look for MS programs in that field, like what you are looking for. So, like that is how your approach should be. Be clear for what you are looking for, and after that, yeah, try to be honest everywhere in terms of application or information that you provide to the universities. Please don't fake anything, is what all I can suggest. Uh, yeah, be an early applicant. That's what our entire conversation was. Try to be an early applicant for any application that you put, even for an admission, even for an internship, even for a job or everything.
Everything, everything,
So be
everything.
an early applicant. I think that is what all I can suggest. And I wish everyone a good luck with their applications, like who are planning to come to the US.
It has been a pleasure having you.
Sure.
And trust me, guys, if you put what his experience, what he has shared, it's going to help you a lot. I wish maybe I had called him before now. Maybe some of the things I have done, I would have been able to manage my expenses, do most of the things as early as possible. I look right now, I'm waiting for my ED card. So earlier I've been do everything so far. And just to touch on the last thing is that on maybe managing your cost and all of that, whatever opportunity you see on campus, like free food, nobody looks at you. Take that and that's key. After the first semester, when I suffered like the first semester after that summer, when I suffered so much, like even to eat, it was difficult. I was like, okay, The next semesters, trust me, if they say there is food up, I will just go there, grab that food, eat. That will save me from even maybe cooking for that day, save you some cost. So it's so important. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I'll get this done
Thank
properly
you so
and
much.
um
Like, do anyone have questions from the live if I have to
so this
answer?
one I've not seen nobody right now joining someone joined here but I've answered the question. The person asked if I'm using Empower loan and personal funds as proof of fund, what should I put in my DX160 who is sponsoring me? So I mentioned for Empower, it's yourself, but it's, yeah, personal funds, of course. So it's just the same thing,
Okay.
which I have just answered that question. So
Sure.
Manu, thank you so much for
Sure.
coming.
Thank
And
you
he
so
said
much
I
for
should
having
share
me
this
here.
with you. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and I'm sure you've been able to learn something, whether you watch this one now or you're watching this one after I've uploaded it. I'm quite sure you must have been able to drop your questions. We can do a follow-up and be able to answer
Sure,
some of
sure,
these questions. If I
definitely.
need to reach out to Mano, that's okay. What do you think is their answer for this? And I will reply again from his own answer. Okay, so guys,
Sure. I would like to end up like
mhm.
thank you so much for having me here, Jabrilla. And yeah, I think my experience was helpful, and I've shared some information that is also useful for you. So yeah, please let Jabrilla know if you have any questions. As Jabrilla said, we can do a follow-up session as well if it is required, or if you need any further clarifications, let him know. We can do that as well. And wishing everyone who is planning to come to US a very good luck. Keep in touch. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram.
At
Please do
least you
keep in
have
touch if you have
you
any
have an
questions.
opportunity because so many people are going to like because I used to answer questions on Empower Quora. So most people from
Okay.
Quora they will go to my LinkedIn.
Okay.
Oh, I get so many connections. So guys, of course you can find me on LinkedIn, on Quora, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, of course, and YouTube. Yeah. So you have many ways to contact me. If you have any follow-up question for Manu, leave them on comment section and I will communicate with him. Thank you so much, Manu, once again.
Sure,
So
sure.
guys, we are going bye bye. See you next
Sure.
time.